Warning: Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use, for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
In this crooked game of power politics here in America, the Negro, namely the race problem, integration, civil rights issue, are all nothing but tools used by the whites who call themselves liberals against another group of whites who call themselves conservatives, either to get into power or to retain power. Among whites here in America, the political teams are no longer divided into Democrats and Republicans. The whites who are now struggling for control of the American political throne are divided into liberal and conservative camps. The white liberals from both parties cross party lines to work together toward the same goal, and white conservatives from both parties do likewise. The white liberal differs from the white conservative only in one way. The liberal is more deceitful, more hypocritical than the conservative. Both want power, but the white liberal is the one who has perfected the art of posing as the Negro's friend and benefactor. And by winning the friendship and support of the Negro, the white liberal is able to use the Negro as a pawn or a weapon in this political football game that is constantly raging between the white liberals and the white conservatives.
What it do, family and friends? Welcome back to the Church of Black Power. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell so you can be notified whenever videos like this drop. Please make sure you hit that like and share button so we can beat up the algorithm. Make sure we get this message out to the ears that need to hear. And if you have not done so yet, please click that link in the description. Go to change.org and put your signature on the petition for reparations. And with that being said, family, in this pre-record today, we're going to speak about Elie Mystal. Now, other people pronounce his name different way. I think it's Elie or something like that, but I refuse to pronounce his name any other way than how it's spelled, which is E-lie, because E be lying. I want to play this clip from MSNBC, Morning Joe, where he's basically talking about this book that he has, Bad Law, 10 Popular Laws That Are Ruining America. And he basically says that we need to get rid of voter registration because it's racist. And then he goes on to claim that voter registration was the reason behind foundational Black Americans. Really, he said 90 million Americans staying home. But let's get into it, family.
Well, let's go out there and talk about the positive Democratic agenda. Let's talk about the things that we can do on the front foot. And that's why I wrote the book.
Okay, so like what?
Well, we could eliminate all voter registration laws. See, when Democrats get in charge, we try to protect voting rights. We don't make voting easier. Now, I'm all for voter eligibility requirements. We might disagree about what those requirements should be, but I'm going to say that there should be an age limit to vote. I might say 16, you might say 18, but I'm not going to say 8. Right? Mm-hmm. So we're going to agree that there should be voter eligibility requirements. But once you're eligible, why do you have to pre-register? Why is that even a thing? It wasn't a thing in this country at the founding. We didn't have voter pre-registration in 1787. We didn't have voter pre-registration in 1821. We only started having voter registration, generally speaking, after the Civil War. Why do you think that is? It's because a bunch of freed African slaves were migrating up north, and all of a sudden New York was like, we need some registration up in here, right? A bunch of immigrants from Europe, mainly Ireland and Italy, were coming to New York. People were like, oh, we need some registration in here. If you're eligible to vote, you should be automatically registered to vote, and that is how they do it Everywhere else but us. Everywhere else but us either has automatic registration or some other form of forced registration for everybody so that you don't have this disconnect between eligible voters and registered voters. That's the first law in the book that we could change. And it's to see how that's different than just saying we have to protect voting rights. No. We don't have to protect voting rights. We have to expand voting rights so that the 90 million people that sat on the couch and sat out this last election between democracy and fascism, so that maybe they have a little bit of an easier time to get up off the couch and come participate in the democracy.
Elie Wood.
Family, this overweight Cornel West is basically saying that these folks should remove voter registration. And let's be 100% honest, it has nothing to do with race. He tried to bring up this false fallacy and tried to tie it in to foundational Black American history. He brought up after the releasing of slaves why they created these voting laws. But then he goes on to try to tie immigrants into there as well. Here's the issue. Regardless of why voter laws were created, and while he's running around here talking about, well, you know, we're the only country that does it this way, we're not. Every country has some form of voter registration and voter laws. Well, majority of them. But this man is trying to convince you that you should be okay with them just the fact that they're saying that voter registration kept 90 million people on the couch. It shows you the psychoses that's happening within the Democratic Party. They're trying their hardest to make it about everything else other than what it's actually about, which is them not doing for their constituents, them giving a middle finger to foundational Black Americans, them trying to fund everybody but us. That's why they lost. Foundational Black Americans have no problem getting an ID if they need an ID. It's stupid to think otherwise. We've been in this country our whole damn lives. You don't think we have IDs? But for this man to go off and talk about how we need to just expand voters' rights. Only people that he's trying to expand voters' rights to is illegals, which isn't our problem. This guy thinks that we should be sitting here breaking our backs to open up the voter process to a bunch of people who aren't citizens in this country. And no other country, you can't go to another country and automatically have voting rights, because that's a part of citizenship. And the fact that this man told a blatant lie, it should show you how desperate the Democratic Party is becoming, or how desperate they are. I'm going to be 100% honest with you, family, like I always am. These people are looking more and more pathetic by the day. And I don't know if they're going to be able to come back from this. I don't believe they will. Because no one is willing to tell the truth to each other. Everyone's creating this scenario in their heads as of to why the Democrats lost the election and lost damn near across the country. The whole damn map damn near turned red. But instead of actually facing reality, they're sending people like this guy here, Elie, to come out lying his ass off in order to convince people that there's a problem with the registration system when it comes to voting. And we shouldn't have that system any further. Any person that is speaking like this, oh, you can guarantee they're an op. Wrote a whole damn book about 10 laws. I wonder what the other 9 laws are. I guarantee you one of them has to do with birthright citizenship. I guarantee you one of them is probably the asylum laws. I guarantee you one of them is probably border laws. Family, you got to watch out for people like this. This guy is a very forgettable person, but the rhetoric isn't. The rhetoric is very clear. They don't want us to have the rights as citizens that we're supposed to have. They want illegals to. And good luck with that in 2026. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell so you can be notified whenever videos like this drop. Please make sure you hit that like and share button. Excuse me. Please make sure. Yeah, please make sure you hit that like and share button so we can beat up the algorithm. Make sure we get this message out to the ears that need to hear. And if you have not done so yet, please click that link in the description. Go to change.org and put your signature on the petition for reparations. Family, these folks, they're hard-headed. They're very hard-headed. But as my grandpa used to tell me, a hard head to make a soft ass. Let them learn.
My grandfather built this country, man. He fought wars for it. And most places he went wouldn't let him sit down and get a cup of coffee. I can't even catch a cab in New York. You know, it doesn't matter how many degrees I get. All you people see is color. Your grandfather was an immigrant. You're American. My grandfather was born here, Duke. And you people still look at me as just another nigga.
I know that the government, whatever can't stand us black people, he doing everything in the world to make black man be extinct. But I'm going to tell you one thing, us black people going to survive. Yeah. So fuck everybody.